Can you imagine that? Imagination is more important than knowledge. Just let us pause for a second and imagine that. Finally, let me use this opportunity to suggest to the ministry 3 projects for our students. 1, our very own Trevor Simon has been the world worry champion for many years. A project for Abbott students would be to develop and maintain the definitive worry software in consultation with our local worry masters. Players can play against the computer, over the internet, and all scores will be logged in a database. Secondly, secondary schools and college students would research and enter music and lyrics of every local calypso that has been composed into a database. The Ministry of Culture would ferret, edit, and manage the content for accuracy. This would be an invaluable source for the Carnival Committee, calypsonians, judges, historians, teachers, students, and filmmakers. Thirdly, using cell phone SMS technology, students at Abbott and the State College would design, build, and install transducers, computer software, and solar-powered hardware to monitor and log soil and coast parameters. The database for these students' projects would be secured on a server at the Ministry of Information. I would also like to suggest to Dr. Mansour and the Minister of Information a national project for students called the No Problem Will Escape Initiative. Fellow Antiguans and Barbudans, let us make the clarion call and summon the army of student innovators. Thank you, and let us have a good ICT Fest 2012.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jardine. I see that you are throwing up the challenges this year. All right, we're now going to welcome to the podium another one of our longtime supporters at the ICT Fest, and he is Mr. Solomon Dumith, CEO of Antigua Computer Technology. Mr. Dumith.
Thank you, Clement. Please allow me to adopt all protocols already observed. ACT, Antigua Computer Technology, is Antigua's single source technology provider. And once again, we are very happy to be involved in another year of ICT Fest. In this, our twin island state of Antigua and Barbuda. ICT Fest is a time where we as good corporate citizens collectively use our products to showcase the essence of our business, and where we join to strategize on ways of keeping technology alive and affordable. Participating in a dynamic series of discussions can only bring further awareness and increase public knowledge, enabling our citizens to advance as technology changes. ICT Fest is Antigua's leading technology festival for information and communication technology. ACT has been involved with ICT since the inception, working to improve communication infrastructure in the developing world and to establish the worldwide standards to foster seamless interconnection of a vast range of communication systems, from broadband wireless networks to new generation wireless, Wi-Fi, WiMAX. ACT is committed to connecting the world using our investment in the undersea fiber cable system. The Global Information Technology Report in 2008 and 2009, released by the World Economic Forum, underlines that good education, fundamentals, and high levels of technological readiness and innovations are essential engines for growth needed to overcome the current economic crisis. ICT Fest, that the government holds every year, is one that will overcome those economic crises. It is this forum that is used to educate our young people from the primary schools to the state college and to our business people that sees what is available locally in Antigua and the new technologies that are emerging. This fest is aimed at showcasing the importance of ICT and advanced ICT solutions, and innovations hope to emphasize the benefits of digital cities and the digital home, taking advantage of communication infrastructure, at the same time creating business opportunities for key service and solution providers. It is our intention at ACT to bring new and innovative technology at an affordable price to the average man. We believe in building alliance with the government and other technological providers, as it is important that the knowledge and delivery of such new changes is essential for future development of our country. Over the years, ACT has showcased Wi-Fi internet. It used to be fixed wireless, where we took Wi-Fi technology, and in those days it was not Wi-Fi, it was 802.11b, which was for short range, 30 meters, and we took it to 4 miles by using antennas, where we put on people's home. Afterwards, as technology improved, we started reaching customers with smaller devices. The next showcase we did at ICT Fest about 4 years ago was to showcase mobile Wi-Fi, where we also took a camera and we placed it in a vehicle where we toured the city showing live video using camera technology and the internet. Of course, all of these things were using live streaming. That was showcased at ICT Fest, I believe 4 years ago. Afterwards, we did a video conference in technology where we used VoIP to showcase the new technologies of VoIP using the video phones, where you could take and dial an extension and have live video streams real time, basically at no cost. Then we did our indoor WiMAX, and when we did that, we saw the need for those customers to see how small of a device can be placed in someone's home to have internet access. And of course, now I will commend Digicel on their new 4G platform, which will enable those clients to go to palm-top devices, to enable them to reach areas where you need bigger devices. ACT has been instrumental in providing high-speed internet through Antigua and Barbuda to the government, to the schools, community access centers, to the buses, local businesses, and consumers, just to name a few. We believe in giving back to the community and forging great partnerships in the highest levels of reliability, and is happy with our relationship with companies like HP, APC, Cisco, and Sony, where we are able to quickly and easily acquire the latest technologies and pass them on to our customers at reasonable and competitive prices. Technology is increasingly important to all. People expect to access the web-based services and to want faster and more effective approach to the information superhighway that will reduce hassles and maximize yields. ACT is equipped and ready to play its leading role in shaping the digital future with innovation and products and services to the consumer. In closing, please permit me to wish you all a very fruitful and energized information and successful ICT Fest 2012. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeMith. Now, I don't want any of our other sponsors to think that we are saying that these are the only people who have ever participated in ICT Fest. Nothing is further from the truth, but we could only have a sample of some of the people or some of the companies who have worked with us from the very beginning. At this point, we are going to have the feature address by the Honorable Dr. Edmund Mansour, who is the minister responsible for this ministry.
Thank you very much, Clement. A pleasant good evening to everybody. I've got your pager here. Prime Minister, Minister Codrington and Adams, and telecommunications executives, pleasant good evening, members of the media. Let me say that ICT Fest started approximately 8 years ago. As you've heard, it was a very embryonic concept, and I remember in 2005 meeting with Ann Jonas from the Ministry of Education at the time and sharing with a number of people about the necessity and the need for showcasing this area. And without repeating any of the areas that were covered this evening, I want to say that without the support of the exhibitors and the sponsors, certainly in those very early days, ACT and Mr. Dumith were pretty much cornerstone sponsors. We had support from Lime and others as well. Digicel was not yet in Antigua. So we had some 6,000 to 8,000 persons go through the exhibition over a 2-day period. And then we went into the seminars and the technology competitions. I want to say that in 2005, we had a young person win one of the computer assembly races, and if I'm not mistaken, that same young person is now in his 3rd year studying in China, computer engineering in China. So we come now to ICT Fest 2012, and we have a theme of 4G for all. And the ministry this year is adding green IT to our display booths. We're adding new media, we're adding Gate, and we're adding ConnectBiz. ConnectBiz is where we're trying to put 1,000 businesses online. Gate is the government-assisted technology endeavor. We were here in this very room a few months ago talking about it. New media is leveraging on social media, and green IT is a new area. And so the ministry has re-engineered itself, and we will be adding to the usual exhibits 4 new areas. So I want to extend an invitation to everybody to join us at the Multipurpose Cultural and Exhibition Center on November 13th, 14th, and 15th. Of course, the theme of 4G and Gate are all entwined. I want to say to you that very shortly we will be taking on our first major group of cadets who will intern with the Ministry of Information. And I want to announce tonight that the 5th form students of the Antigua Girls High School, the St. Joseph's Academy, Island Academy, and either the Jennings or St. Mary's School of Excellence, the Jennings Secondary School, will in fact receive a new iPad, the iPad 3 or the new iPad, during the fest as part of the launch of the tablet program on the Gate. We expect some 250 students to receive the tablets, which will be hooked up to the new LTE platform. And this pilot phase, having completed it, we will rapidly progress to all Form 5 students in Antigua and Barbuda, followed by Forms 4 and 3, and we will work assiduously to ensure that upon the completion of the project, that is to say, upon the completion of this particular component of Gate, all secondary students, all secondary school students in Antigua would have benefited from 4G LTE technology. I don't subscribe to the connectivity of the elite. Under the leadership of my boss, the Prime Minister, we are about connecting everybody. So whether it is Hodges Bay, Jumbi Bay, it means that Pigots, Green Bay, Five Islands, Piers, Jennings, you name it, must get the 4G LTE. Everybody must get 4G LTE in this country. And I want to say then, very briefly, that we expect 4G will be utilized by the banks, by the yachting sector, hotels, government, the retail and wholesale sectors, the travel sector, in transportation, by professionals, by the insurance sector, and by the health sector. I want to also announce tonight very briefly that, and this has nothing to do with Digicel, nor does it have anything to do with GATE, but I'm using this evening as we announce that we are ready for ICT Fest 2012, that before the end of this year, all members of Parliament on both sides of the divide will receive an iPad with 4G LTE connectivity. All permanent secretaries and principal assistant secretaries across all ministries will receive an iPad and 4G LTE connectivity. And in the second phase, very senior public servants will also receive the iPads and 4G LTE connectivity. On the gate, 1,000 public servants and or locations will receive dongles to connect to the LTE platform. So those public servants who obviously have a laptop will be able to leverage on the LTE platform. I end my brief remarks by saying to my boss, the Prime Minister, thank you for the support to the members of the Cabinet, to the ministry staff who work day and night to ensure that we propel Antigua and Barbuda to the #1 position in ICTs in the Caribbean and stay there. And thanks to the sponsors, Digicel for the Fest, Special Security, SO Limited, Cable TV, Lime, ACT, there are many sponsors. This year, ICT Fest will be bigger and better. And I am confident that 4G LTE technology will change the face of Antigua and Barbuda forever as we empower everybody, especially those young people who are going to have to go out into the real world and compete for real work in an era where telecommuting is the order of the day. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Minister Mansour. We're now going to invite the Honorable Prime Minister to give a few brief remarks. Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Clement. Let me recognize my colleague ministers Adams, Chandler, Codrington, and Edmund Mansour, representatives of the telecommunications business in Antigua and Barbuda and elsewhere, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. My duty here is just to launch ICT Fest 2012 and to let you know that it will be bigger and better than ever. And this is so because we will be rolling out for the first time in the Caribbean and perhaps further afield what I consider to be something that is tantamount to a revolution, and that is 4G LTE platform. I don't think that some of us fully appreciate and recognize what is happening here with this rolling out of the 4G LTE platform. And I just wish to commend Digicel highly for coming on board and for recognizing and seeing the vision and doing so pretty early, picking up the challenge that was placed on the table 1 year ago. And so I'm looking forward to ICT Fest 2012 because I believe, as the minister has pointed out, we will be doing a number of incredible things, and we will be showcasing a number of incredible things. I just wish to say also that Antigua and Barbuda, if it has not yet done so, is clearly on the road of positioning itself as the ITC capital of the Eastern Caribbean, at least. And in light of what is now happening with 4G LTE, I'm prepared to go further in saying that Antigua and Barbuda is definitely becoming the ICT capital of the Caribbean. And so as we embark on the interactive exhibition, the interactive seminars, the technology competitions, and the rolling out of the 4G LTE for the empowerment of the nation and the people, I just want to also express my sincere thanks and appreciation to all those individuals who, at the start of the ICT Fest, believed in what we were seeking to do and has maintained their support. All of the telecommunications businesses in Antigua and Barbuda and other businesses and individuals and groups who would have worked tirelessly and sincerely to bring us to this point, and also the telecoms department or division of the ministry and all the staff and members there who have really caught the vision and have worked real hard to bring us to this point. I just want to commend all of you and to say that we are really on the road to doing great things, recognizing that ICT and all the component parts are not only the future, but as we look at what is going on now, it is very much with us, and therefore we have to be relevant, we have to be out there, we have to be taking these bold steps to ensure that Antigua and Barbuda maintains its edge at the top there, blazing the trail and doing the revolution that is so important to the future, not only of Antigua and Barbuda, but the sub-region. So, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that this is not the night for in-depth speeches, but just to associate myself fully with the launch of ICT Fest 2012. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. I'd like to thank all of you for showing up here this evening. We're not quite at the end as yet. We are now going to have a very short video, which was put together by the new media team, which is one of the new departments in the ministry. And then we will get together with you for some light refreshments afterwards. So just please bear with us for the video.
At the end of the day, Technology is not about gadgetry. It is about people, and it is about the empowerment of people. And if we want to state clearly that Antigua is a place to do business and we are serious about it, I say very simply, welcome to Antigua, welcome to the ICT capital of the Caribbean, welcome to 4G LTE City. This is an era where cutting-edge technology will impact directly on the life of every citizen. And I'm very pleased that less than a year after I articulated the government's policy with respect to 4G, that what we wanted was 4G LTE, that Digicel has come on board fully, and in the coming weeks, coming months, they will launch more than one 4G network, a 4G HSPA Plus network and a 4G LTE network. So we expect to have a major boost in the tourism sector, in the yachting sector. We expect the super yachts to come to Antigua and stay longer and employ more people. We expect the banking sector to become significantly more competitive and consumer-centric so that customers can stay at their mobile device, at their convenience, 24/7, 365, and conduct business in real time. Well, the true beneficiaries of the LTE network will be young Antiguans and Barbudans who will face a competitive future and will grow up in an environment where leveraging on new technologies will be the epicenter of their competitive index. What do I mean by that? Very simply put, we have already begun training Antiguans and Barbudans in universities around the world. I was very pleased to see so many young Antiguans and Barbudans graduating from universities in Cuba. So the deployment of cutting-edge mobile technology, specifically fourth-generation long-term evolution technology, will help to position Antigua not only as the ICT capital of the Caribbean, but make this country competitive in every respect. I also expect that government services in all its realms will become significantly more efficient. I am talking about those areas of government that provide real-time services to citizens. I also expect there to be a significant improvement in government's ability to respond to customers' concerns, citizens' concerns in a number of realms, including emergency preparedness. At the end of the day, technology
You have just been watching the launch of the ICT Fest 2012, government's platform for bridging the digital divide and to bring computer technology to all of the homes and communities in Antigua and Barbuda. You've heard from the developers, the partners and stakeholders in this initiative of the benefits and to the Twin Island nation and the people of Antigua and Barbuda of the ICT, and also the future developments in ICT in the Twin Island nation with the rollout of the 4G LTE network for all. And So we look forward to seeing you at the ICT Fest 2012 at the Multipurpose Cultural and Exhibition Center, November 13th to 15th, 2012. We thank you for viewing. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
You were just watching an ABS Television live special presentation. Do enjoy the rest of our programming.
The first segment of the ABS Evening News is sponsored by ABI Bank Limited.
Banking shouldn't interrupt your way of life, so ABI Bank Limited has integrated it into your day and put banking in the palm of your hand. Mo Banking allows me to check my account balance, my transaction history, or even transfer money instantly from my savings account to cover checks, all from my cell phone. I can pay my bills on the move, on my terms, in my own time. Mo Banking gives me options. No long lines and plenty of time to do the things I love to do. Mo Banking, banking on the move. Sign up at any ABAP location today.
Good evening. It is Thursday, September 20, 2012. I'm Alex Nicholson with the ABS Evening News. And the headlines this evening: architects in Antigua and Barbuda seek to conform to regional standards, and the National School Meals Program extends to the Bethesda Primary. A little later on our newscast tonight, the collection and creativity of a local designer brings a runway to life, along with Ms. Amrila Henry, and she's signing for the hearing period. Now for the news in detail. The Antigua and Barbuda Coalition of Service Industries, Inc. will be holding a national consultation for persons who have studied and are practicing architecture on September 28th at the Parliament Training Room on Queen Elizabeth Highway. In response to the CARIFORUM states signing of the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, with the European Union, regional architects have formed a committee called the Caribbean Architects Mutual Recognition Agreement Committee to assist in the preparation of a mutual recognition agreement, the MRA. Azara Lavier reports.
The regional body, CAMRAC, is comprised of members of the Association of Commonwealth Societies of Architects in the Caribbean, the Federation of Caribbean Associations of Architecture, regional boards of architecture, and the Dominican Republic's Institute of Engineers, Architects, and Surveyors. Further to a meeting with the EU counterparts, CAMRAC recommends that it would be beneficial for the CARICOM states to have an intra-regional MRA before attempting to secure agreement on the EU CARIFORUM MRA. Caribbean countries are seeking to come together under one umbrella to form a national consensus as to the position of the architects. To this end, one of the objectives of the national consultation is to discuss and agree on the minimum criteria for licensing and registration of architects, which will form the basis of the intra-regional MRA. Project Implementation Officer of the Antigua and Barbuda Coalition of Services Industries speaks of the purpose of the consultation.
The purpose of that is to bring some sort of consensus in terms of licensing and registration. So what you're finding is that if the Institute of Architects, for example, is not up to par in terms of what is happening regionally, Antigua will then have to fall in line with what the regional consensus is. If we are above par in terms of what is happening regionally, then you would see that it will even off. But the reality of it is that Regionally, we're taking an approach where we must have mutual recognition in order for us to engage our international partners.
And be able to even compete.
And to even be able to compete, not just regionally, but in our own markets. Because what happens is that you're in a situation now where if you cannot compete within your own market because of legislation, which is then, of course, governed by CARICOM and other regional entities as well, then you find yourself in a situation where you're not capable of providing the service that you thought you could.
Colin John Jenkins of CJC Jenkins Design, who recently received a scholarship for training in leadership in energy and environmental design Green Associate, an accredited professional designation from the Antigua and Barbuda Coalition of Services Industries, speaks of the importance of the meeting.
When we think about design and sustainable design, I think we have some of the principles already in place. For example, our water catchment systems that the DCA insists that you must have as a part of a component to apply for approval. But it's having a program or a structure that gives it an integral, progressive, and sustainable account for all of the factors, because it has long-term effects and they're beneficial effects. Because if you think about a country needs a certain amount of capital to sustain itself, to improve its systems. But if you find a way to intelligently design and build, you would spend less, right? And therefore you would have more available resources to capitalize on your social programs, which is important. A simple thing like orienting your building a different way or from the norm saves energy, because it means less heat into your building, so you therefore require less energy to cool your systems in your building.
A representative from CAMAC will conduct the consultations as a part of the first phase of the regional initiative. This credential is expected to provide opportunities for architects and construction professionals to bid on contracts, access markets, and capitalize on business opportunities in the specialized area of green building. Azara Lavier, ABS News.
The Schools Meals program continues its mandate to provide healthy food to students around the Twin Islands state under the goal Nutrition for Learning. The 19th school came on board today with an opening ceremony at Bethesda Primary. Larissa Francis tells us more.
The Bethesda Primary Serving Center became operational on Thursday as it seeks to provide hot, nutritious meals to over 50 students. Principal of the Bethesda Primary School, Esther Dickinson, says she's pleased that the institution is finally a part of the program, which has proven to work in other schools. She says the school solicited the help of members of the corporate community, rose to the occasion and assisted.
Having recognized a few areas that affected the effectiveness of a large number of students, this concern caused us to approach the school meals program in helping to increase these students' effectiveness. They readily agreed on the condition that we get a room prepared. With haste, we enlisted the help of corporate Antigua and a number of hard-working community members, and here we are today.
Minister with responsibility for the National Schools Meals Program, Minister of State, the Honorable Wilson Williams, says the project has grown leaps and bounds over the years, and the organizers and workers must be commended. Williams says the program over the last 7 years has provided nutritious meals to over 18 institutions and now welcomes Bethesda Primary. He says it continues to contribute greatly to the economy of Antigua and Barbuda with a spending per capita of approximately $48 million in 7 years.
Clearly the fisher folk, the meat producers, the farmers, they would have always have been complaining that they don't have a steady market. So we prepare over 3,000 meals every day. You do the math, by the end of the week we're calculating a large amount of meals. We require vegetables, we require the meat. You see the chicken is local, the pork when it's cooked is local, the beef is local. We also provide employment, the ticketing folks, the individuals who cook, the drivers, all of these persons. And we support the local water industry. We do not serve juices because we want it's a nutritious balanced meal, and what is more nutritious than water? And so we're very excited about that.
A villager and mother spoke on behalf of members of the Bethesda community.
I want to thank the school meal program for coming to Bethesda, and I know the children are all excited about it. Me too, because I have 3 children coming here. I'm very grateful for that. And it will be a huge burden off my back. So thanks once again.
The students were given free lunches on Thursday and will be given the same on Friday. The Bolins Primary Service Center will be commissioned on Friday. Larissa Francis reporting for ABS News.
The government is now working on a set of proposals that will see the Twin Island state benefiting from technical and financial assistance from the European Union. It is close to 5 years since His Excellency Valeriano Diaz, head of the delegation of the European Union to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, served the region, and today he bade farewell. Sean Thomas reports.
The relations between Antigua and Barbuda and the European Union, EU, which has extended for many years, have borne much fruit. One of the most recent projects is the Antigua-Montserrat Ferry Docking Facility, which was constructed by the EU to a tune of $3.5 million. Head of the delegation of the European Union, His Excellency Valeriano Diaz, describes his tenure as fruitful and constructive, given the successes with various development projects in Antigua and Barbuda and the Eastern Caribbean.
I think we have achieved a number of things. In the case of Antigua, I'm very satisfied because we have been able to assist the government in the reform of the public administration. We have been able to open this jetty facility, the docking facility with Montserrat, with the ferry. And we have been able to also provide some very much needed cash support to the government in these challenging times.
During the course of the day, the high-level talks were held with key government officials to include Governor General Dame Louise Lake Tack, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Baldwin Spencer, and the National Authorizing Officer and Head of the EPA Implementation Unit, Ambassador Dr. Clarence Henry. Prime Minister Spencer, in bidding farewell, expresses appreciation to the EU on behalf of the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda.
Your tenure has come to an end, but the work continues.
Right.
Yes, the work continues. And so whoever replaces you, I'm sure we will continue to develop very strong ties and work closely with the European Union to achieve those objectives that we have set. These are difficult and trying times for everybody, and the process of review of programs and policies and so on, I'm sure will be occupying our attention as we go forward. But I think in the end, though, the idea is to try and get it right and get it better.
Right.
And so we're looking forward to be able to work with your successor.
High on the EU's development strategy is assisting developing states like Antigua and Barbuda to achieve long-term development goals in a self-sustaining manner to join the ranks of developed states. Sean Thomas, ABS News.